up, goblins? Pack up everything you own into a box and catch a deadly disease, because things have never been worse for your favorite podcasters. This is still, against all odds, Super Despair World, the only show still trucking along after the absolute dog shit hell week that we've both had. Can we even go on and, like, plug our shit like we usually do? Do we want to say anything about how just, like, fucked up the last couple days have been?
Yeah, well, I've been moving, which anybody who's moved before knows how fucking terrible
it's
that
hell.
is.
It sucks.
It sucks. And the thing about moving is, like, you never realize until you start moving. It's like, oh, I don't have that much stuff. And it's like, when you're putting it all into a box and ferrying it over somewhere, it fucking sucks. And this was the first time I ever had, like, a moving company to do, like, the big shit. And even still, it's a fucking nightmare. And then just, like, unpacking and all the shit that goes along with it. Fuck moving. I'm not a big fan of it, although I seem to be destined to do that for the rest of my life. How was your week, Briar?
Well, I was going to say, one, I really hate moving. Back when I was in college, I had, like, my own little apartment in the city, like, close to where I was going to school at the time. But, like, I would still go back and live at my parents' house on, like, extended weekends or like winter break or summer break or whatever. So, like, multiple times a year I would be moving some big things like my PC and a bunch of other shit, just because it was, like, I don't know, like, cheaper for me to live with them at their place over the breaks rather than, you know, keep living on my own in the city. And it just sucked moving multiple times a year. I don't miss it.
How far away was the drive?
So my hometown was in, like, the lower mainland of BC, and I was going to school in Vancouver. So this was about, like, a 1.5, roughly 2-hour drive. So it wasn't too bad, but
long
like
enough.
I still had a pretty, like, a pretty big amount of stuff to pack, like my big ass PC tower and monitor and some other stuff. It was just a huge pain in the ass, like, every time, and I don't miss it.
Yeah, it's shit. It's shit. It's always shit. No matter how you do it. I think even if you were, like, incredibly rich and just, like, I don't know. I don't really know how you would make it better. Like, unless you just, like, don't actually have anything and you just kind of move into these, like, pre like, organized places for incredibly wealthy people who just don't have any actual belongings.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not great. As for my week, after many years of avoiding it, I'm pretty sure I caught COVID for the first time. I don't know. It might be COVID. It might just be a bad flu. I haven't been sick in years, so it's just been hell. I've just like lost several days of hard work and momentum as I've just been, like, writhing in bed with, like, a high temperature. I don't know if people can hear it in my voice right now. I'm still a little congested, but, like, the show has to go on. So that's what's up with our schedule being all over the place upload wise lately.
Yeah, well, I mean, we still got it out, like, technically that week. So
yeah, I
mean,
know. Like,
yeah.
even if not for us getting sick and moving and all that stuff, we've been shaking up our schedule a little bit with, like, the start of our Patreon episodes, and we're trying to get into this new schedule where we're aiming for, like, Patreon episodes on Tuesdays, I want to say, and the regular show on Fridays. Who knows once we'll start hitting that, but that's the goal. We're working on it. Thanks for being patient, guys.
Yeah, I think it's viable. I think we got this.
We can
eventually
make it work. And I gotta say this, man, just about, like, being sick in particular, but I guess it works for moving too, is, like, if you work on, like, any, like, creative endeavor or whatever, the worst part about, like, delays or, like, problems that come up in life is it's just, like, you have this momentum going, and, like, as soon as things stop, everything just kind of starts it starts to come crashing down. Like I've been doing art for like 2 years now, and I like to think, okay, if I need to draw something on short notice, I can. But like if I have to take several days off or like a whole week without like working on any art at all, and I try to pick some shit up and just like get a basic episode cover done, it's like, wow, I don't know how to do this at all anymore. It feels like I'm doing this shit for the first time. I think our last episode, I just recolored some old art because I was like, fuck, I can't do shit today. And it was miserable.
Yeah, and yeah, fair enough. It's hard to force it too, and definitely, yeah, the momentum and the inertia are like really big. They're really big things when it comes to doing anything completely on your own accord. So yeah, it's always a struggle. It's always a struggle.
Yeah, but you know what makes it a bit less of a struggle? It's supporting the show on Patreon. Let's do those plugs. We actually got some good shit for you guys nowadays.
Yeah. We have a Patreon. You can join it for free, and then you can also donate a sinister $6 to not just support the show anymore, but you actually get access to bonus episodes, which you can listen on the Patreon player, which apparently everybody hates. Or also all the podcast apps that you've come to know and love. So that's a thing you can do. And also, if you also want to join our Discord, you can do incredibly fun things like talk to us and the wonderful community that we have so far, and also do things like make suggestions for future videos, which we have already made some suggested shows before. And also we have a Discord Q&A channel, and every once in a while we go through, once the backlog gets backlogged up enough, we go through here and we answer your questions, your burning questions that you've had for us for so long, completely candidly.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a perfect transition into today, because that's what we're doing, guys. We're doing another Q&A episode today. In the spirit of Pride Month, I think we had a different topic lined up originally. I think today we were going to talk about TERFs, but I decided, you know what? Dave just finished moving. I'm coming over like a pretty bad flu or whatever I caught. I have better things to do today than talk about like sad old British women who want to put me in a camp. So we're answering questions from the Discord instead.
Yeah, we're keeping it positive this time. We're instead of annoying anti-trans old crusty women. And men too, of course. But we're answering questions from the cool gay people in our community, and possibly not gay people too. I didn't ask any of them. It doesn't really matter. It's an all-inclusive
give them time.
Discord.
They'll come around.
Yeah, eventually. It's Pride Month, damn it. You have to be.
Yeah, just keep consuming the tap water. Make sure you turn on the 5G signal on your phone, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, keep on drinking out of plastic cups.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's dive right into these questions, because I think we got like maybe almost twice as many as last time. So maybe we'll bang through some of these a little quickly. Do you want to start?
Yeah. So the first one is just this is a Briar-centric question, and it's from our dear friend Shalom Guy, and it reads, or he asks, what species are you, Absentia?
Okay, first of all, I want to give a little shout out. My buddy Reed replied, even though this is not his forum to answer questions. My friend Reed, he says Homo sapphicus, which respectable answer. Good. My species is actually podcaster. That's just how it is. No. Okay. So all right, this is maybe a little embarrassing because I'm not super public about it yet, but I'm working on a very big tabletop game, which I'll announce probably sometime this summer. My little blue alien girl, my avatar character, whatever, is one of the races from this fantasy setting I'm working on. And they're called the Fae, like fairies and shit, but more like space alien related or whatever. And their whole thing is like they're shapeshifters, but everything about them except their horns can change. So if one of them is like disguising themselves, you can usually tell. I think that's a fun little thing. That's my very long-winded answer. That's lore for a game I'm not talking about in public yet, but look forward to it soon, I guess.
All right. Well, I like that. I like the that concept is they can't hide the horns. They could just like if you morph into a human, you could just have a really like crazy hairstyle, you know, like the Princess Leia buns, but
yeah, or
but
you
bigger.
could wear like a really tall hat or some shit. There's probably like illusion magic or whatever if they really want to hide it, but like I don't know, that's probably more expensive in the universe, and I kind of just prefer the idea of like a big hat.
Yeah. I just like big hats in general, so I think
I like
think
big hats,
cool.
and I cannot lie.
I cannot lie. You other brothers certainly can't deny that. Everybody likes a chick in a big hat.
I think they're pretty stylish. Actually, I thought about this before, and it's like in the years after I graduated high school, this was before I realized the whole trans thing. I bought myself this like. It was part of like some shitty like steampunk costume thing at like a souvenir shop. It was this like brown bowler hat, and I was like, this looks so cool. I'm totally not dorky as fuck at all, but like as dorky as like old-timey hats like that can be on guys, I don't know, I think they're pretty cute on girls. I would still wear it. I still have that hat somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's good. You kept it just because you knew in the back of your mind that someday this will look good on me.
I still think it's pretty nice, especially because we get some pretty hot summers out here. So like it keeps the sun out of my eyes with like the wide brim, and it keeps my long ass hair in place like when it gets really windy out. So I don't know, I still like it. I think it looks good on me. So it is what it is.
Yep.
Let's move on to the next question. Right. This is for both of us. Okay. This is a good one. Mr. Universe Squid asks, if you could live in someone's skin for a day, who would it be? And he says, interpret this question as literally or figuratively as you'd like. And then emoji with the cool sunglasses.
This is a tough one. You go first.
Oh, very easy for me. I thought about this for like 5 minutes, and it has to be Taylor Swift. Not because I actually like really like her music or anything. I'm basically pretty indifferent. I think she's just like a basic white woman celebrity or whatever. But I would want to be Taylor Swift to get like full control over the Swiftie army. I would just want to just be able to live her life for like an entire day and just say some like crazy shit and like mobilize the Swifties into radical action. I think I could change the world with just 24 hours as Taylor Swift.
I think that's a good idea. Or I would also be happy with that. Also, I want to know what it's like to be a chick for a day. Not forever, but okay. See,
just
now,
a day.
I see. I see Briar's eyes twinkling, just like yes.
Yeah, but I'm wearing the Sicko shirt.
No, I would actually want to I would want to be one of those Icelandic strongmen like Magnus Ver Magnusson, just because I want to know what the fuck it's like to like be that huge and like be able to like pick up boulders and like move them and shit, because like I'm not a large man by any means, so I don't want to know what that's like. God damn it, I'm not going to try to change the world. Maybe I would go find like a certain political figure, somebody who like is a little bit too outspoken on X.com and just smash their head like a fucking like
I mean, yeah, just go full like caveman days with it, right? Like, oh, you think you're so smart, but have you considered I can lift up this really big rock?
Yeah, have you considered
I like that Your answer is a little more humble, but the core theme of both of our replies to this is we both crave power that we don't have in our regular life.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, let's go to the next question.
Okay. Well, this is a two-parter. Another one from Shalom Guy, and I'll ask yours and you ask mine. So, Ms. Absentia, do you like sushi?
I love sushi, although I will say it was a lot better when I lived in Vancouver because it was like close to the coast, so it was a lot fresher and cheaper. I just recently, in the last week, got some sushi out here in fucking central like Mountain Valley BC, and it's kind of expensive and it's kind of mid, and I did not enjoy paying all that money for it, but you know, it's okay. I do like sushi in general.
Yeah, I agree with that. Even bad sushi is good unless you're paying a lot of money for it. And I don't think cheap sushi exists anywhere. And if it does, you probably don't want it. It's probably not a great idea to eat that. I would wait, is that what got you sick? Were you eating gas station sushi?
No. But actually, I got the sushi after I got sick. So the first person to get sick in my house was my mom. And like several hours later, both me and the guy who lives with us like immediately got sick in the same way. So we probably got it from her like at work or some shit like that. And my mom was like, oh, I really need some food for work tomorrow. I can't keep any food down. Please go pick up some sushi from the local store here. And I was like, okay, but they don't have it in stock all the time. And sure enough, they did not have it, so I had to drive all the way out to the next town over to get some from an actual restaurant. And it was all right. I just got the big ass platter for her and like 2 specialty rolls for me with all the stuff that I like. And yeah, but yeah, it was all right. It was kind of expensive, but I mean, I got paid this week for some art bullshit, so that's not too bad.
That's good. Yeah, well, I mean, it's also curious that the sushi craving came on after sickness, so it's like maybe this is the sushi cartel injected like a virus into your environs. And it made everybody want sushi, and you also had to suffer for it.
My mom just felt the racism leaving her body as she got sick and suddenly craved like foreign cuisine for once.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm just kidding. I love my mom. Either way, I will ask your question now.
Okay.
Shalom Guy asks, Mr. Farstrider, do you like pizza?
Yeah, okay, so yes, I do like pizza. When it comes to pizza, I'm all about thin crust, sauce, and cheese, and whatever toppings, but I'm a staunch thin crust guy. In this region of Western New York, it's not quite like Detroit or Chicago style deep dish. It's nothing like that, but it is the like Buffalo Niagara style pizza where it's like kind of like a thicker and like chewier crust. It's fine. I'll eat it. That's not like, for me, pizza is a sauce delivery mechanism. It's not all about just like it's not a sandwich with just like an open face sandwich with tomato sauce on it. That's how some people like, and like if you do, that's cool. I'll eat Chicago, Detroit, whatever. I'm more of like an Italian, like actual like Neapolitan pizza or like a New York style person personally, but yes, overall I do like pizza.
See, I've never really been like a thin crust person because in my head I see thin crust, I'm like, I'm paying a similar amount of money for less pizza, right? Like, is it that much better that I should pay this much money for like a thinner slice of pizza? And most of the time I'm like, nah. But for me, it's largely because in my hometown, I grew up there like over 20 years. We had this really good like local pizza joint. They just did like a regular type of pizza. I don't know, all this like New York, Chicago, Detroit style, whatever. I don't know, all this bullshit. It was just a really good, like kind of on the thicker side slice of pizza. And they had this really great deal. It was, again, in Canadian dollars. So it's like $20 for like 2 large 4 toppings, which is insane. And it was also really good pizza as well. So that's just what I'm used to growing up.
When 2 large 4 topping entire pizzas?
Yeah. Yeah, for like
yeah, that's
$20.
pretty crazy. If it's good, that's crazy.
It was really good for a while. Sadly, their quality went way down around COVID, which was around the time that I moved away from my hometown for good. So rip to Jim's Pizza. You were great once, but how the mighty have fallen.
Fuck yeah, I mean, you can't keep that up forever. Even like Pizza Hut and Domino and fucking Papa John's and shit, you can't. They don't have those kind of prices.
Yeah, I think we already talked a little bit about Pizza Hut on one of the bonus episodes, so I'm not gonna go into a whole I will say, speaking of pizza though, shout out over here. I live again in British Columbia. We have a lot of like good Asian cuisine out here, and there's a bunch of different pizza restaurants I've been to that do like Indian cuisine toppings on pizza, and it's actually good as fuck. If you ever get the chance, you gotta try it.
Yeah, I generally go for a normal pizza, but I do like a weird pizza once in a while. I like when people
it's good.
It's like silly with
it's like some tandoori chicken and some like really like spicy savory sauces or whatever.
Yeah.
It's good as shit.
I could see that being good. I respect it.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Is it your turn? My turn?
Yeah, sure. I'll do this one. Again from Shalom Guy. Shalom Guy went on an absolute run with some banger questions. And what is your dream place to visit and your dream place to live?
Oh, okay. This one's easy for me. So if I had to pick a dream place to visit, it would definitely be like Tokyo, Japan. I love the big city. I love all the convenient automation bullshit. I love all the fucking weeboo ass nerd culture, whatever. I would want to go there, pick up some of those cute like Lolita dresses or whatever. There's just a lot of really cool shit to do in a big city like that. But I definitely would not want to live there. I don't speak Japanese well. I don't think I would adjust to all the really strict like social customs or whatever. And just like the whole like there's a lot of like social problems or whatever in Japan that I would not want to live there permanently. But as like a vacation thing, if I had the money for it, amazing place to visit, hands down.
Yeah, that was my experience there. Great place to visit. I've been back several times. My first time there, I lived there, is not a great place to live, honestly. Maybe under different circumstances it would be cool. In mine, it was not great. But what is your dream place to live then?
I've thought about this a little bit. I think it would be somewhere in Europe, right? I'm thinking somewhere like warm and kind of close to the sea. So maybe like the countryside in Spain or like northern Italy or some shit like Tuscany or whatever. Someplace like away from the city, like a nice view of nature, somewhere that's like relatively warm most of the year, not too far away from like major cities or whatever. I don't know. If you have like an EU citizenship or passport or whatever, you can enjoy a lot of fun travel destinations that aren't too far away. And that's the big thing for me. Although I will say, a friend of mine was telling me that even though I don't really like colder climates as much, because again, I grew up in Canada, so I'm just used to the cold, dreary weather. But a friend of mine tells me that there are a lot of really attractive like lesbians in Iceland, so that might be enough to do it for me. That might tip the scales. But yeah, probably Spain, Italy, or Iceland.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that, because Iceland is probably my dream place to visit, just because I'm gonna say dream place because I plan on it, and I would like to. I don't know if it's ever gonna really happen, just because it's like it's so isolated, and I don't know if it's just like that high on my list of things to do. But like I'm saying dream place in the sense of like if somebody was just like, hey, I got a ticket to Iceland and everything's paid for. Here you go. Like, that would be fucking awesome because I would really like to go there. I have known some people have been there. They had nothing but great things to say about it. It's a really interesting place, really beautiful. I watched this fucking DVD from the band Sigur Rós a while ago. Any Sigur Rós heads out there?
Oh fuck
holler.
yeah, I like Sigur Rós.
Yeah, they're awesome and super unique. But they had an album where I don't know if you know this, but Sigur Rós got popular like outside of Iceland, and then they did this tour. And this was quite a while ago. I think this was in maybe like the mid 2000s or something. And so they went back to Iceland unannounced to like do a bunch of like random shows at places. Nothing was announced. So it was all like word of mouth, like the night of. And they were like, oh shit, Sigur Rós is playing here and here. So they just had these like impromptu concerts. They did a bunch of like random recordings and just random places inside and outside, and it was really cool. And it really like it looked like, I know it's not, but it looked like a tourism video for fucking Iceland of like how well they just represented this place. Is just like I had no idea about anything in Iceland before that, and then I was like, I want to go to Iceland. It's so fucking cool.
Oh, that sounds awesome. See,
yeah.
For me, the thing is, I don't really want to live somewhere that's like pretty cold for most of the year.
Right.
I think I could put up with it if I lived within like walking distance of like one of those like hot springs or a nice sauna or some shit. Mm-hmm. I think that would be enough to make me put up with the cold climate. And again, the cute lesbians, that's also a must have.
yeah. So I'm pretty sold on that. As far as a dream place to live, like I have nowhere in particular. There's still a lot of places that I have yet to check. To check off my list of like things to check out. Basically like my criteria is like, yeah, decent weather, cool people. I would like, things like crazy things like walkable places and trains and stuff like that, which sounds like it would probably end up being somewhere in Europe. Like as much as I didn't overall enjoy living in Japan, the just the walkability and the access to transportation and the not needing a car, even though I wasn't actually for the most part for most of my time there living in like a huge city or anything, even just like middling urban places were pretty accommodating to just like a normal way of life. But yeah, more research is required. I'm gonna we'll revisit this one next time when I actually haul myself out of the dystopian country of the United States, or don't, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, keep funding the show to get us out of this shithole that we both live in.
Yeah, right. And I was also going to say, just on your thing about visiting Japan, and for anybody who wants to do this, this is now a great time to go to Japan because the yen is so weak. And when I was there, it was incredibly strong, which is one of the reasons I had such a fucking tough time there, which sucks. But alternatively, the other problem is the fucking airline industry is so fucked now that flying there, I mean, especially if you like live in the Western Hemisphere, even in most of Europe, like it's gonna be pricey. So you just can't fucking win anymore, man. You just can't win.
Oh, is that in light of all the shit that came out about Boeing like fucking murking the whistleblower or whatever?
I don't even think it is. I think it's just like after COVID, they were just like, well, the prices were fucked because of like supply chain and like gas or whatever. And then it's just like, well, all of this stuff went away, but like people are willing to pay this. So why would we lower the prices? Fuck you.
Oh, so, yeah. That's basically everything. I know.
That's everything now, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Here in Canada, it's really bad with like they raised the shit out of like grocery prices on everything during COVID and the inflation
everything
that came afterwards. Yeah. And like 90% of things are just, that's just how much they cost now, and it sucks ass.
Right. And everybody talks about like inflation is just some like political thing where it's just like, oh, it's because of like fucking liberals turned the inflation knob.
Well, you see, when
the
Democrats are in office, they have the big lever that says inflation, and Biden pushes it up. And when a Republican wins, they just push it back down. You know?
Yeah. But it's like, no, all of this shit, it doesn't matter. Whatever political. I mean, to a certain extent, it does. But like, no, it's just companies are just like, we can charge this much. Cool. Let's do it.
All these companies are run by ghouls, and like we need to put like a fucking leash on them, you know. So
yeah, like literally, we need to put a leash on every single one of them, and walk them around town.
Speaking of pet play, here's another question from Shalom Guy. What is your favorite piece of Sonic-related media? It can be a character, a game, a song, a level, a show, a film, a meme, anything.
Okay, so I have two answers for this. Number one, so let me preface this by saying we were not, growing up, we were not a Sega Genesis family. We were a Nintendo family, which then turned into a PlayStation family. So I don't have a lot of experience with Sonic, as much as I respect and love Sonic and all the Sonic heads out there. I will say, from my limited experience with Sonic stuff in general, the Sonic soundtracks, even on the shitty games, have consistently fucked. Like, that is something that is just like...
It's always been good.
It's always been good.
Do you have a specific song? Because I was gonna start with a specific song from
I don't. So I'm gonna let you take the reins in a minute. But before that, other answer number two, Sonichu.
Oh,
God bless you, Christine Western Chandler, for making the greatest piece of Sonic fan art ever.
I'm really reluctant to say anything about Chris Chan for just fear of like, it's like a Beetlejuice sort of effect. Like if you say her name too often, she might just like appear. But the thing about the Sonichu medallion is it's so funny to me because like there's been stuff going on lately about various YouTubers who like got one and now their lives have just like fallen apart in record time.
Is it like a cursed medallion?
Yeah, like I think there was this one guy, his name was like Rakita Law or something, and he was like a lawyer. He got really big during COVID talking about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. And recently he like got like a Sonichu medallion in the mail or something, and he's been like destroying his life, like going into like alcoholism and like a cocaine binge, and he just looks like he's aged like 50 years.
That would be wild.
It's like a dark amulet of power. Like there's a curse, and you don't want to be the bearer of the curse.
I mean, like, so like supernatural things aside, I mean, it would make sense from just like from a logical perspective of if you're that like lol cow meme brained that you're gonna get like a Chris Chan medallion just as like a funny joke and post it on Twitter. And also if your claim to fame is fucking like celebrity drama shit, you're probably like on the precipice of just going insane anyways.
He's also been like a shitty like culture war like Gamergate type person as well, so like couldn't happen to a more deserving figure. But
I'm working on it.
Working on it. All right, let's get a little more positive. So my first thing about Sonic media, shout out to a specific song. It's the one that plays in the first level of Sonic Adventure 2, fucking Escape from the City. It's just the most catchy, upbeat song. Perfect way to start a game. Probably my favorite piece of Sonic music in general. It's just a classic. You really can't go wrong with it. It's just such a banger.
Yeah, I'm almost positive I know which one you're thinking of, and that one goes so incredibly hard. I mean, that's just like, and that's the thing about the Sonic music is just like in all these certain media, like even on the Genesis with their like really shitty sound chip, that shit went incredibly hard. You know, and then on the like later gen consoles where they could do like more sophisticated sound fonts or like sampled music and shit like that, like they also went hard. Just across the board, like great shit. Good job, Sonic composers.
this is not quite Sonic related, but just yesterday I was watching like a YouTube video somebody did about the first three Spyro the Dragon games. You ever heard the soundtrack from those? They are full of bangers as well.
So I used to play those, but I don't remember the soundtrack. I'm sure it fucked.
There's a lot of good ones.
That.
I know
those are good
like,
games.
I'm really bad at music. I know there was somebody involved in most of the Spyro soundtracks that was like an actual famous musician from like a certain band. I would have to look it up, but
oh shit, that sounds really familiar too. All right, well,
I think it was like a drummer percussion guy who worked on those. Anyway, they're fucking amazing soundtracks. But I had one more piece of Sonic related media.
Yes.
I was going to give a shout out to a cartoon from when I was a kid. Do you remember the TV show Sonic Underground from 1999?
I'm not sure that I do. All of those like video game IP late 90s, like mid 90s TV shows kind of blended together.
Sonic Underground, it was like its own canon. It wasn't related to any of the games or any other shows. It was some shit like Sonic has like a brother and a sister hedgehog, and they're all part of this like underground punk band, and they go on like adventures throughout space or some shit, and like Dr. Robotnik is like the evil dictator of the world or something, and he's turning everybody into robots or whatever. And it has this real vibe of like, you know, the kind of like 80s 90s like space fantasy bullshit, kind of like heavy metal or some shit like that. It was a lot like that. And really? I don't know, the show was just like, they had like these amulets that turned into like electric guitars and drums and whatever, because they were in a band or something. And it was just like the most like cheesy, like Saturday morning, like, yeah, fight the power, rebellion is cool, sort of deal. But I don't know, it's very of its time, and it's very goofy, and just like, I don't know, there's nothing else quite like it that I can think of.
I'm definitely I gotta check that out. Now I'm intrigued. But real quick, just to wrap this one up, I did look up. It's the Spyro the Spyro guy. It's Stuart Copeland, the drummer for the Police.
Yes, that's it. Copeland. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's wild. Like how'd they get him? Like I'm sure there's some lore as to how this happened, but that's fucking awesome.
That actually reminds me too, and I bring this up because I know Shalom Guy might get upset if we don't bring this up, but wasn't there something about like fucking Michael Jackson had something to do with like the early Sonic soundtracks? I think he was involved in some songs.
I don't know if that's confirmed. I think that's a lot of speculation. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that for a while. I think it's one of those things where that might be an urban legend, or just like kind of like they think he did. But yeah, that's something worth looking into in the future.
I think it might be an urban legend. Anyway, let's keep the ball rolling. One more question from Shalom Guy before we got some other people jumping in. Shalom Guy asks, if you could instantly gain any skill or talent and be proficient in it, what would you be picking?
Ooh, that's a spicy one. Do you have one for this?
I've thought about it. I have a boring answer, which would be day trading. Just knowing what fucking shit to like invest in, and like making free money off of like doing nothing at all. I think that would be a good useful skill to have.
That's a good one, because that's like something that's just like instantly like you can instantly benefit from that, but it doesn't ruin the drive, like the journey of actually learning something, because I think that matters. And
if I had to pick something else, I would probably pick something like hacking, or like a programming language, something very technical, something that would like help me in all my like online bullshit. I don't know, something like that. I think that could be cool. I know the famous online hacker lady, Maya Crime You, something like that. She's like a very trans puppy girl, something, no, cat girl. I don't know. She's going to be very upset if she ever listens to this, but just doing like fucking like hacktivism or like leaking the no-fly list, just knowing how to do shit like that, I think would be very cool.
That's
not
a good
that I would
one too.
boast about it.
So I was gonna say, so my original response was gonna say playing the violin, because that's something that I'm never gonna learn on my own. I have no interest in the learning aspect of that, but it looks really fun to play the violin and is a cool instrument. And the thing I like about the violin as opposed to the other instruments that I play is it's very portable. I used to play my music when I was in Korea with a violinist. We would play together a lot, and it's just like I'm lugging all this fucking bullshit around, and he just has his little fiddle in like a little case, and he's just like, I'm ready. All right, let's. I'm like,
see, that would be really cool because you could challenge the devil to a jam contest and just beat him at his own game.
Yes, but now you've inspired me. Like a better answer, I think would be. Well, I mean, like if you were like incredibly good at anything, you can kind of leverage that into whatever. But I think being really cool at like small electronics and like electronic engineering type of stuff, because I have a very rudimentary knowledge of this stuff, but I do think it's enjoyable to do like, you know, soldering and stuff like that. And then on top of that too, you can buy busted shit on eBay or whatever, just you know, like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and then fix it up and flip it, which I've actually done before. And,
oh man, one of my favorite types of YouTube videos to watch is where somebody will be like, here's like a 20-year-old Game Boy Color that was like in a house fire.
Yes.
I'm gonna completely rebuild it and it looks like good as new, and I'm like, that's fucking insane. And the whole video is like there's almost no commentary. You just watch them work with their hands quietly for like 30 minutes. It's amazing.
Exactly. And these dudes are like wizards, like the way, like, because it doesn't come across on film all the time when you're working with like really like small components, is like, because all this shit is like under a microscope, so it's like and you see like, why is it like so hard for them to place this? It's like these things are fucking tiny, and the fact that like somebody's hand is able to place this like over the pads when they reflow it, it's like, this is more impressive than you think it is, but it's also just very satisfying to watch.
Fuck yeah. All right. Maybe I think it's your turn now for the next.
All right, cool.
question.
All right. So we have a wonderful question from our dear sweet Ellie, who asks, Hasbro has reached out and is making SDW action figures. What are their catchphrases, accessories, and outfits?
Oh, this is so good. Okay, I put a little bit of thought into mine. First of all, I would definitely have catchphrases. I just really want to lean into the whole force femme thing we've got going on. Like,
yes,
don't forget to turn on your 5G signal, drink up all the tap water, and stuff like that. Estrogen is good for you. And I think my accessories would be like a case full of energy drinks, and my iPad, and maybe one of those like old-timey like radio microphones, you know what I mean, the like silver ones that have like something like that. The thing I record the podcast on is not that, it's like a little plastic USB mic, but I've always wanted one of those. I just like the whole like the aesthetic we go for on the show of like proper radio broadcasters or whatever. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I thought about, for a couple outfits, I was thinking, of course, we gotta go with the default, our office suit attire looks, the very professional. That's gotta be the main one. But I've also got, we have some good outfits in other like episode covers too, like the fucking wizard outfits. Or
those are great, yeah.
Or the Wild West ones from when we had Trash Bins on episode 10.
Oh, yeah.
And if we can license it, they'd probably be very expensive, but also the Warhammer ones. Very proud of that art as well.
Yeah, that one is great. We also have to have a Steamboat Willie. A Steamboat Willie one. Yeah.
That's perfect. You just reminded me, we would also have to have ones for like all the characters that we do shitty little impressions of. Like we always do Jordan Peterson, so we gotta get his like fucking Riddler costumes or whatever. However you feel about the guy, he has some interesting like comic book villain drip nowadays.
Yeah, see, that would be all of my catchphrases. Is just mocking other people, and then also just going on like a mumbling rant about something unintelligibly. For like 5 minutes. That would be another one. I mean, the default outfit, the one for our original character art goes so hard, but I mean, even besides us, we have other action figures. We'd have to license Marat's likeness for sure, and then we got to have Bill House in the mix too, because he's great.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, there's some other little characters in other episode art that I have not even given a name for yet, and I'm sure I'll come up with more as we expand the cast of background characters. I don't know how much it'll cost, but I've bounced the idea around of like a higher Patreon tier where people can submit a character of their own choosing, and I'll just work it into all future episode art, or like you know, whenever there's the opportunity. I thought that might be a cool thing for people to pay for. yeah,
that would be great. And then, you know, in looking into the far future, maybe we could make some goddamn SDW action figures. Maybe this isn't
that could be very cool. I think I shared it in the Discord before. I had this concept of like a plushie of me that was like just completely bean shaped, and I had like a stupid little grin or something. I thought that was very cute. Maybe we'll work that into an episode art or something at some point, but we'll see. We definitely want to do this kind of merch. It's just like if you're making like physical merch like plushies or like figurines or whatever, you kind of really want to get like a good hookup, a company that'll make something that's not going to be a piece of shit that falls apart,
you know? Do, and there would have to be some initial capital up front, so we're gonna that's something to table for now, but with your help we can make it happen someday. Anyways,
if we do make that happen, we don't want to do it until like 1, we can afford it, and 2, we can afford it to not be a piece of shit. So.
Yes, exactly. We're not making shit merch here, folks.
All right. Next question. This is from Clam.
Yeah.
Clam asks, if you were suddenly able to speak and understand one language at a native level, which would it be?
Ooh, that's a spicy one. That's a real spicy one. All right, I'll start with this one. So there's a tendency with a lot of people with this one to go for something that's like, well, most of the world speaks Spanish, or like Chinese is an important language for business or something like that. And it's like, okay, cool, like true. For me personally, as much as like, so I initially thought like it would be really cool to be like a foreigner who was like completely fluent in like Vietnamese or like Thai or like
white podcasters.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, because at the very least you could be one of those annoying dudes on like fucking TikTok and like YouTube shorts where it's like, you'll never believe what this woman did when I spoke fluent Thai, and it's always like the dude like talks to them for a few minutes and like, oh, you speak Thai, that's cool, good job. And then they like talk to them normally. So this is my thing as somebody who's like, I certainly don't speak Korean at a native level. I would call myself, especially at this point, conversationally fluent. I was a little bit more like academically adept when I was there. But the thing that people don't realize is when you speak like a foreign language, especially an obscure one, when you're like clearly a foreigner, is like the better you get, paradoxically, the less people kind of care. Instead of being like, oh, wow, you learned 3 phrases. Good job, foreigner. Wow, you really mastered our language. That's very impressive. You're very smart. Once you get to like to the point where you can like converse with people, they're just like, they'll actually just be like, that's not the correct word, actually. we say this, and it's like, oh, thanks, and they're like, yeah, cool. Anyways, like, and then they just keep talking.
Oh yeah, like if
the
you
whole
learn
time
Japanese,
they're not just
and it turns out all the phrases you learned are like specific to one prefecture, and you're talking to people from another one. It's like, yeah, nobody here says that.
yeah, exactly. But anyways, like if I could, it would be Brazilian Portuguese, just because I like the I like the music, and I would actually like to be able to understand the words that I hear and all of the things that I've been singing in these songs for so long, instead of just being a fucking gringo poser. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And also, Brazilian people are cool. Brazil mentioned fucking yeah. Yeah. We need more Brazilians in here. Get in the Discord. Get listening to the goddamn
I feel like it's only a matter of time before we start seeing like super despair world stickers and like a fucking like favela in Brazil or something.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I really want to. I'm kind of trying to plan. I don't know how viable this is, but after I graduate grad school in the winter, is treating myself to a little Brazil trip, at which point I'm going to be slapping stickers all over that place. So yeah, we're gonna get a huge influx of Brazilian listeners in there for sure.
Fuck yeah. I'll do some good Brazilian themed art with like the green and the yellow.
Hell yeah.
Fucking Brazil, the colors, the flag, everything hard. It goes hard. I love Brazil's aesthetics.
Yes, Brazil's aesthetics go hard as fuck. And when I hear people like shit on them because it's like they have like political and economic issues sometimes, like, fuck you, dude. You live in Arkansas. You live in Arkansas, and you're talking shit about a place with like a rich cultural history and like the coolest people ever and fucking badass music and like wonderful climate, and it's like, fuck you, dude. I don't know where that like the sent them to Brazil like meme came from, but it's always the corniest motherfuckers.
I thought the original meme was send him to Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, that makes more sense, although I haven't spent that much time in Detroit, so I'm not gonna hate on Detroit either.
That's fair. I will say, man, everything about your answer makes me real self-conscious, because I was going to say Mandarin because, like, a lot of people speak it and it's very challenging. But no, fuck it. I'm gonna fully embrace my cringe answer. I'm gonna say Japanese so I can watch more anime. Are you guys happy? Is that what you wanted? That's what you get out of me.
I mean, it's a super interesting language. No hate on any of that. For sure. Yeah, it's the hardest part about Japanese is learning all the fucking kanji, and everybody says that, but it is just like, it's not hard, it's just time consuming.
The thing is,
it's not impossible.
I know if you're learning like Mandarin or something, you need to know like 10,000 of those or some shit to be fluent in it. And if you're learning Japanese, you only need about like 1,600 to about 2,000 of them to be fluent. So it's really not too bad. And from what I've learned, like, because I've taken some intro to Japanese classes before, a lot of kanji are just like, oh, this is just 3 other kanji, but like grouped together into a single one. So
yeah, like, there are like radicals. Bad. There are radicals that like you can kind of like get vibes from it after a while, and yeah, it's doable if you're really into it. It's just time consuming, like anything else. So.
Fuck yeah. Let's move along then. I believe it's your turn.
Okay, cool. This is from Protagon. What is a song most people seem to like but you can't stand? Oh man,
Okay.
You go first.
So I kind of struggled to think of one specific song, so I'm going to broaden this to an entire band. I don't understand 100 gecs. I don't get it. When people tell me they like it, I think they're lying. I think it's unlistenable bullshit. I think it just sucks. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't see the appeal. It feels like a psyop. It feels like it's a joke. I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around people sincerely, genuinely being into 100 gecs. I think it's some of the worst audio I've ever put my ears to.
I gave it a shot too, and I think it's Yeah, I think it's like a child rebellion band where they're just like,
it just seems like some really like juvenile like middle school stuff. It feels like this is like Invader Zim, a lol so random holds up spork type of music. I just don't get it.
I completely agree. I really think it's just like a it's kind of like how like hipsters were in like the mid to late 2000s, where it's like there's no shot that you guys actually like this music. You're just trying to be like, because you're gonna be like, oh, I like this music, and people are like, no, that sucks. And it's like, oh, well, what do you listen to? Like fucking Taylor Swift.
It reminds me of like when I was in high school, so like around like early 2010s or so. Like, do you remember fucking crunkcore and all these like post emo sort of bands of like anorexic looking emo guys in their like late 20s who are just surrounded by like 14-year-old girls, and it's like, oh, it's always something creepy going on. Like, I don't know, it just reminds me of that like era of music, and I just think it's like, I don't know. I just refuse to believe anybody like sincerely, genuinely likes this and thinks it's good. I think it's all just like a big joke that I'm not in on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck 100 gecs. I genuinely tried to listen to like over a dozen of their songs before recording today, and I just can't get into it. It was exactly as bad as I remember it being. I don't know. It sucks. I refuse to believe people actually like this stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So I would also have to, I can't think of a song off the top of my head, but see, I'm tempted to like defer from this question because people tend to get like really pissed off when I give my like music takes sometimes. But you know, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna come straight out and say it. I think Beyonce fucking sucks. And for a lot of different reasons, but I'm gonna say she sucks musically. I'm not talking about the person. And see, this is the thing that people always jump to, is just like, yeah, but she did that, like, but she's pop and she's like cool because, and it's like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck about her. No hate towards her, I guess. I don't know anything about her. Maybe she's a piece of shit. Maybe
sounds
she's great.
like you just hate it when a strong black woman makes capitalism work for her. I think
so. I think
you gotta work on
that's part of the reason that a lot of people like her despite her songs. And it's like, all right, cool. Like, you like this shit? Fucking whatever. I don't actually care. I think it sucks. My reasoning for this could be an entire dissertation. The long and short of it is, I think it's catchy shit that's musically uninteresting. It's all predicated on this like boss bitch attitude, which I think is very shallow. I think her music has always sucked. I think Destiny's Child sucks. I think her solo career sucks. She's never released anything that I thought was good, except for Love on Top. That's actually a good song. I'm gonna give you the dub on that. Absolutely, I am not.
That's fair. I gotta say, like, even if you take the most like forgettable, like basic bitch, like pop music artists, pretty much all of them have at least one or two good songs.
Yeah,
you know, that's
absolutely.
just the nature of pop music. It's there's nothing wrong with liking it from time to time.
And that's the thing, and that's why people always get pissed off about me. It's just like this like, I'm team fucking Taylor, I'm team Beyonce, I'm team fucking this person, like I'm on this side, and it's like, I don't know any of these people. I don't give a fuck. I think their music is good, or I think most of their music is good, or I think all of their music is good, or whatever. When I get mad at like a band in general and I won't even listen to their shit, is when I think it's like indicative of like broader problems in the music industry in general, which is, that's way beyond the scope of this episode, and I'm not really going to get into that. But yeah, that's my take on that, and I'm sticking to it, and we should probably move on before I start fucking ranting even more.
All right, fuck yeah. Next question comes from Heresy, who asks, what's the largest animal you think you could take 1v1?
Yeah, that's a okay. Have you thought about this one? Because this is a really interesting question.
People are going to call bullshit on this, but I'm going to say a bear, and specifically a black bear, because they are very cowardly, weak little creatures that are afraid of anything, and they will run away. I think I could probably take like a young black bear in a fight. I feel like I could whip out some wrestling moves and just like absolutely rocket shit.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the exact same, actually, because you know, that's why they always say if it's black, attack. And like, I think if you just like
don't want to clip that out of context.
Ah, shit.
What did Dave mean by this?
But I fuck. All right. Well, I think if you punch it in the nose hard enough, it'll just bounce. Like you won't.
Actually, I've seen people do that with sharks, right?
That's what I hear about sharks too. But sharks are way more scary than bears, dude. I don't like sharks. They freak me the fuck out.
Yeah, the thing about a shark is if you encounter one, you are in its home turf, right? It has the home field advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like what they I mean, what water? Fuck that.
I see that thing some tourists do. What did they call it? The shark cage, where you go in a cage submerged. Yeah. Fuck that. You cannot pay me to do that shit.
Yeah. Or the people who just like swim around with sharks without a cage, and they're just like, well, if you don't like flail around, they won't bite you. And it's like, cool.
No, just don't make any sudden movements and you won't get torn limb from limb. It's no big deal.
There's like, honestly, like I respect all these people who go to outer space and who go to the deep ocean. Like I think people should be doing that. But like you need to, at the end of the day, recognize that like humans don't belong there, and that's not a place to like fuck around. Like I'm not doing any of that shit.
Although if any ambitious billionaires want to go into any of those places with shitty little crafts that implode, by all means go ahead.
Yeah, please continue exploring the Titanic, but only people who have enough money to go down there, which is billionaires.
I'm pretty sure there's already like another billionaire planning another expedition to the same place.
I just saw that, and you know, like I really support you doing that.
I will say about the last one, I do genuinely feel awful for the one, it was like a teenager or some shit who was just some guy's son. Rip to that kid, he did not deserve it. The rest of those guys, fuck them.
Yep. Hard agree on all of that.
They had like a shitty fucking like Mad Catz, like no Logitech like game controller for that thing. It's just, that's insane, dude.
Fuck yeah. All right. So next question is from Snacky. Could you guys rob a bank? Like, do you have the stomach for it?
Absolutely. Fuck those guys. No, I mean, okay. First of all, I'm not going to play too hard. I would never want to rob a bank because I own my home and I don't want to lose everything in the event of getting arrested. But like the act of actually robbing a bank, it's like, bank tellers they're not instructed to like, you must give up your life in service of the $5,000 in our vault. You know what I mean? It's like, if you go there, you don't even have to threaten them. You could just be like, I'm robbing the bank, please give me the money in the bag and whatever, and like they'll probably just give you the money. It's not even that eventful. It's like, I think I read a statistic like most bank robberies only net between like $5,000 to $8,000, which is really not a lot of money. So like,
I don't think they like really hold that much cash. In a sense that you could like realistically get it in any, like they might have a vault, but there's like,
I mean, that's what they got like the armored cars for, right? They just pick up the money to bring it somewhere more secure. As far as I know, there isn't a ton of money on site at the bank anyway.
Yeah, so. I think bank robberies were like it's like an idea from like from the past where they did have to hold a bunch, because like everything was cash, like before like credit cards and checks were like a big thing, where it's just like they did have to carry like large amounts of cash in case somebody wanted that. But yeah, I don't think robbing a bank is like a viable thing. Also, like I'm very not trying to go to jail, even if it's like a pretty sure thing. Like I don't know, man. Going to jail sounds like it fucking sucks. I don't think it's a great play. I don't think I could rob a bank. If you were for sure to get away with that, like morality wise, as long as I didn't shoot a bank teller, like, yeah, fucking absolutely.
I mean, yeah, there's a difference between like maybe you wave a gun to just like threaten them or something, but like, I would never want to like kill somebody just to make money or whatever.
Yeah.
Although I will say this whole question is very funny considering just 3 episodes. The art for episode 26 was us robbing a bank.
That's true. Oh, I forgot about that. That's right. Yeah.
That was some good art. I had fun with that one. Drawing our boy Bill House as the Groiber.
Oh, hell yeah.
Anyway, okay, next question. This is a fun one. There's actually kind of 2 parts to this. Protagon asks, if you could make any person in the world blow up spontaneously, who would you choose? And normally I don't do this, but I had to ask a follow-up question in the Discord. I said, how big is the blast radius? And Protagon specified there will be a 100-foot diameter crater. So, what do you think?
I would just pick pretty much any U.S. senator, and then the rest would take care of itself.
Whoa, that's a spicy answer.
Hey,
I disavow that in Minecraft.
Just kidding.
In Final
Kidding.
Fantasy.
Yeah. Only in Final Fantasy 14.
So like I had to ask about the collateral damage because it's hard to pick just one person. So I had to think not only who really sucks, but like who is connected to a bunch of other people that also really suck. And I think I would have to go with like Matt Walsh or like any of the Daily Wire people, because they are like constantly in contact with a lot of other like shitty like conservative talking head type people. So I feel like if you time it right with a 100-foot diameter crater, you could probably do a lot of damage at the right time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
that and his beard fucking sucks. It looks fake. It looks painted on. I want to rip it off with explosives.
Yeah, I mean, I could extend that to like Tim Pool, but I kind of like Tim Pool existing because I think it's so funny when people make fun of him. He's just like the most bullyable person in the chudosphere.
The problem with Tim Pool is also that he lives in that like underground compound thing, so you would only be getting like 4 or 5 other people at most.
Yes, exactly. It's just his weird.
He is unfortunately like among conservative talking head people. He is one of the more well protected against explosions.
Exactly.
For what that's worth.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Let's continue.
All right, yeah, let's stop fed posting in here. Just so everybody knows, this is all for jokes. This is all entertainment.
It's just a joke.
We don't advocate
jokes,
for
guys.
violence in any way, shape, or form.
It's just a funny little podcast. We're just comedians.
Okay, the next one is from Nico, saying LGBT rights or economic stability.
I'm gonna say LGBT rights. Fuck this like gay economy bullshit. I think it's stupid. I think it's made up. Let's go with the first one.
All right. Hot take. Yeah, I know it's Pride Month, everybody. I'm gonna say
choose your next words carefully, Dave.
I'm gonna say economic stability just because I think culture war issues are it's a misdirected hostility and expression of anxieties about other actual tangible things that people actually give a fuck about, but instead it's too hard for like pea brain fucks who care about things like fucking trans bathrooms and gay marriage to like actually articulate. So they express it as like, well, I would get a job if it wasn't for wokeness or something like that. And I don't know, but actually now maybe I need to walk that back a little bit, because like there was a lot of economic stability for, you know, for a certain demographic of people in like the 50s, and they were still like racist and dumb as shit. So
I mean,
all right,
wasn't there like a big economic boom during like the 80s or something, and that was when the whole, you know, like AIDS crisis was going on. So I don't know.
Fuck.
Also,
Yeah.
I think back to like a couple of years ago, like during the whole Charlottesville thing, where people would take like a photo of all those like white guys carrying tiki torches going like, Jews will not replace us.
Yeah.
And the headline was something like, wow, these guys sure are really feeling anxious about the economy. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, that sounded smart when I first said it, but the more I thought about it while I was saying it, it doesn't matter. These people are fucking idiots. LGBT rights, fuck it.
I definitely like I get what you mean though. Like a lot of it is like a lot of these people would not give a shit about social issues whatsoever if, like, you know, they could afford groceries or something.
Right.
There's definitely like a big crowd of like your average voter, which, you know, fuck, that's such a stupid fucking person.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean. At the same time, it's also like economic stability. What does stability mean? Like, things are dog shit right now, but like they're very stable for like the big companies profiting off of all this bullshit. So
yeah, no, that's right. I mean, I think do you think if like Tim Pool ever got laid, he would be like a less like whiny little bitch?
No, because I think he'd be bad at sex, and I think he'd feel even worse about it afterwards.
True. You just can't win with these guys. Just fucking come on.
Yeah, one day, hopefully his beanie just like swallows him whole, like some kind of, I don't know, like symbiote from Spider-Man or whatever.
True.
Anyway, next question we got. This is one from our boy Trash Bins. Thought son or gay daughter?
It's all right. Gay daughter, because when I think of thought son, I think of that emoji of the Zoomer fuckboy with the backwards hat where he's biting his lip.
Oh,
you know yeah.
I was thinking of the fucking r/196 the boy kisser meme, which I never liked that meme, because like people are like, oh, why don't you hate it? Do you not like the gays? That's really homophobic of you, Briar. But no, I never liked the boy kisser meme because there's no fucking joke. It's just like, haha, kissing boys, blah blah blah. I don't
get that one. I don't get that one either. I think it's one of those like post-ironic Zoomer memes where it's just like kiss. This is like it's a symptom of like a certain demographic of people who like don't actually ever, they think about sexual shit all the time, but they don't ever actually do it or never have. And it's this is one of many reasons why I have stopped browsing r/196, because it just feels like everybody on there is like 15 years old and very horny, and I don't like it. yes, exactly. And it's like, yeah, you guys need to like just calm down. Just a little bit. Just calm down.
I'm also gonna pick a gay daughter, because I feel like I relate to that more. Although I don't really want kids in general, so take that for what it's worth.
Well, you have to have one. So yeah, gay daughter all the way. Speaking of gay daughters, the next one is from our boy Weasel. Do y'all fuck with me? Yes.
Let me check the Patreon. Okay, he's still paying, so yeah.
And then I'll do the follow-up to this one from Heresy. Who's taking Weasel in the divorce?
I guess I'll take Weasel, because I feel like you're taking the other half of Weasel, which is more important, so.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only have limited time.
You can have custody of Weasel on weekends.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still gonna have the playpen. I'm still gonna have the juice boxes.
We got everything he needs in one place.
Yeah, make him an account on the Nintendo Switch. It's gonna be fine.
Oh God. Okay. This next question. This one hits a little close to home for me. Snacky asks, Chapo Trap House son or My Favorite Murder daughter?
Okay.
Are you familiar with My Favorite Murder?
Is this just like some true crime shit?
It's like the biggest true crime podcast, whatever. It's unbearable. I fucking hate it. So
all right, go on, because I assumed it was just some
my
crime
favorite
shit,
murder. It's like a true crime podcast with these like two very like basic sort of ladies, and the thing is like they start every episode with like an entire fucking hour of just like back and forth like girl talk about like nothing at all, and it's like full of sponsored ad reads or whatever, and like it's over an hour of that bullshit before they actually just like abruptly change the topic to talking about some like really like grisly brutal murder or something. And it's just like, I don't know, I feel like you really need to have like a special kind of brain rot to be into this stuff. A couple years ago I used to listen to a little bit of like true crime stuff just in passing, and I just kind of had this moment where it clicked, where it's like, people fucking died. Like, this is fucked up. Why am I listening to two people like guffaw about this like horrific crime and like a tragic thing that occurred? And it's just like, I don't know. It's just something about it feels like vapid. It feels
because
like
it's content.
No, dude, this feels like the product of like a sick, decadent sort of society. I don't like it. Like, however you feel about Chapo Trap House in 2024, and I feel it's not that good anymore. I don't know. It's just, it's not as like morally repugnant to me as like true crime shows. So definitely the Chapo Trap House son for me.
Number 15.
Number 15.
Getting decapitated
the
by
last
John
thing
Wayne
you
Gacy.
expect in your true crime podcast is an ad read for some makeup product. But as it turns out, that might be what you get.
Yes. Anyway, also Chapo Trap House son. I still listen to Chapo once in a while. They got off the like cringe politics so much, and it's kind of just comedy, like whatever. They don't have like that spicy of takes. It's funny. It's fine. I'm not like a true Chapo head. Whatever. It's cool. I fucking hate true crime in all of its iterations. So
Chapo
yes,
is just mid nowadays, but true crime is like, it actually like disgusts me on a moral level.
Yeah, I think Chapo at worst is just like irrelevant and inoffensive. Unless you're like
just
a
your
massive,
average dude bro sort of podcast, you know.
Yeah, and I think Felix is funny. They're fine. The dudes are fine. I got nothing against them.
I feel awful because back when I used to listen to Chapo, I thought Virgil was the funniest one, which rip. We don't talk about Virgil. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah, all right. Wait, did I read the last one or did you?
I think I asked that one.
Okay,
so
cool.
Go ahead.
So we had Figment of Origin asks, what's next week's episode topic in the alternate universe where Carthage won the Second Punic War?
I feel like, okay, even if like we lived in an alternate history timeline, I feel like this show would still be mostly the same, except instead of like the Roman statue bust guys on Twitter, we'd be talking about like the Carthaginian statue bust guys on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. We'd be talking about guys who just like were really mad about like what happened in Persia in 267 BC.
I also want to take this opportunity to bring up Weasel replied to that question with a little comic drawing from an artist I follow on Twitter whose name is Century Chan, like Centurion Chan, and they do like cute little like kinda Yuri, kinda lesbian art of like historical figures or whatever, like of that time period. And it's just like, I really want to like this person's art, but it's one of those people where I'm always like, man, I really hope this person isn't like a chud deep down, because it's like,
hard it's hard to tell sometimes.
like when you see somebody who's really into Fallout and they're like, yeah, I fucking love the Legion, dude. I love Caesar's Legion. I love doing fan art of Caesar's Legion. It's like, okay, are you really into history, or are you really into fascism? And
well, when you think
tell.
about it, they're kind of based, actually. Like, I mean, I don't like agree with everything they did, but it's like,
I don't know. I really, for now, I'm cautiously optimistic that Century Chan is cool, but we'll see. I'm always a little antsy about.
I
their
get
art.
good vibes from that little thing that Weasel posted, but I don't know.
If I showed you more of their art, I think you would agree. I'm leaning like 70-80% sure that they're probably fine, but that varies from day to day. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Should just DM them on Twitter and be like, hey, are you a fucking asshole?
No, I would feel like I was the asshole there.
Yeah. Reddit, am I the asshole?
Oh, we got to do a Reddit episode at some point about that.
It's been a while. It feels like it has, but it probably hasn't.
Alrighty, next up we have another question, once again from your boy, Figment of Origin. He asks, what is the worst game you would honestly recommend, and the best game you would advise against? And I will say, of all the questions we got, I had to think on this one the most.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough one, for sure.
All right, so
okay.
maybe I'll go first. I will say, bad game that I think everyone should play. This is kind of several games, but I will say I think everybody should play the original Drakengard games, as well as the first Nier game, either Gestalt or Replicant. Back before the remake, I'm talking the very janky Japanese one that has a lot of like weird localization stuff, and it plays very jank. I think these games are like, they are very flawed mechanically, but I think Yoko Taro is just such a genuine weirdo, like Japanese auteur sort of creator guy, that I think you kind of have to take these in their like raw, unrefined forms to really get to the heart of what makes that franchise interesting.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So what is the best game you would advise against then?
Okay, so this one, I know this is gonna upset some people because it's a gacha game, but I played it for like a year or two. The game is Arknights, and it's this game. It's like a tower defense, like tactical sort of game, except your towers that you place down on the board are the different little anime characters that you collect, and they have all these sorts of different like RPG sort of like character classes and whatever. And I know I'm not going to try to sell anybody on the whole like gacha game thing. I know, terrible business model, but the game is genuinely like really deep in terms of like coming up with different strategies to clear all the levels, and there's a lot of neat stuff you can do with different characters, and like they do balance the game around like even the most challenging missions still being doable with like the shitty basic bitch like free characters you start the game with. So I don't know, in that case, like it's really hard for me to recommend it, again mostly because of the gacha thing, but if you are at all into like tactical strategy sort of games, I really think it is genuinely one of the best ones out there in terms of just like the wealth of different like mechanics and like strategies and stuff you can pull off. Great game. Really sucks that it's locked behind such a dog shit business model.
Yeah, it really is. It really is unfortunate sometimes when some of these games just end up being, you know, just like there's a lot of potential here, but they just chose this business model that's just like inherently fucking bullshit. Like, oh man,
the thing about gacha games is a lot of them are like they're all generally pretty cheap to produce, and as a result, yeah, most of them are just like mobile game slop that has like very little effort put into it. But because the business model does make so much fucking money, there are a handful of games like fucking Arknights or even even the different, like, the big MiHoYo games like Genshin Impact or whatever. Again, I'm not a fan of Genshin, but like these games are really high budget. They have like entire fucking like music studios and like real artists dedicated to like making their soundtracks. They have like just a shit ton of money to like really raise the production value of everything. And that does mean that there are a couple gacha games that are genuinely like good games beneath the surface. It's just like, yeah, you have to interact with this really awful monetization form to get at that. And like for some people, they'll do the calculus and be like, yeah, I guess that's worth it. That's just the price of enjoying this good game otherwise. And like a lot of people will just bounce off of it, and I don't blame them. They're right to do that. So
yeah. Yeah, exactly. This one was tough for me, especially the second part. The worst game I would honestly recommend. I'm gonna go. This is a bit of a hot take, I guess. Maybe not. Final Fantasy IX, and I'll tell you why. So this game sucks in a lot of ways. In what ways does it suck, you may ask? Well, let me start with why it's good. It has beautiful music, interesting, fun characters, a great vibe, like a somewhat interesting, if not like kind of derivative Final Fantasy story. This is after Final Fantasy 7 and 8 came out, which were kind of like got into the more like steampunky kind of like cyberpunky.
They were very like modern sci-fi sort of inspired.
Yeah, exactly. And Final Fantasy IX still had airships and shit like that. So it was more classic. Yeah, it was more classic, more like fantasy and everything like that. My issue with the game and why I say it like objectively sucks is because mechanically, not mechanically, like, I guess mechanically as well, but like it was massively limited by the hardware of the PlayStation, to the fact that like it was kind of ugly. The resolution and the sprites were like really, really bad. They really contrasted with like the painted backgrounds of the time. Like the battles were just like, so you get into like when you're in a dungeon or whatever, you get into a battle like every 4 steps, and it takes about like 10 seconds for the battle to load, and then it does this like camera panning around thing, and then you're finally in the battle. It runs at 12 FPS. It's really just like it's just not great. And but the reason I would recommend it and why I want more people to play it is because I would love for this game to get a remake, and not a remake in the way of like the Final Fantasy VII remake, where it's like just this ultra modern, like just they completely reimagine the game of just like, no, this game exactly, but get rid of all of the shit that made it unplayable. And I know there's like, for like the PC version on Steam, there's like a bunch of mods and shit, and it's like they don't really correct the problem. I would like to see this like done the way it would have been done when this was released, if the PlayStation wasn't so bottlenecked as far as hardware limitations and shit like that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I'm not going to weigh in on if I think it's good or not because I haven't played it, but I actually have done a lot of reading into FF9 lately because at the time of recording, we are like less than 2 weeks away from the new FF14 expansion, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of FF9 related stuff in it, so everybody's been speculating and like tearing apart little plot things and references to shit in FF9 that looks like we'll be getting in 14 soon. So that's very cool. I think it looks interesting. Yeah,
so and then the last fun fact about that one is Sakaguchi, the guy who like was the creator of the Final Fantasy franchise,
Mr. Originally. Final Fantasy himself.
Mr. Final Fantasy himself. He said Final Fantasy 9 was his favorite. And so like let's honor that game a little bit by making it like actually fucking playable. That would be cool. That would be great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The best game I would advise against, this was a really hard one for me. It's so like I don't really know what to say about this. I mean, I guess like where I'm gonna go with this one is I would say something like Civilization or like Balatro, just in the sense of and I know this is me, but I'm not the first person to say this. It's one of those games which is like incredibly addictive in the way where it's just like, oh, I have 10 minutes. I'll just throw on a quick game, or I'll just like, you know, I'll open my saved game of Civilization, or I'll just like play a new game of Balatro, and it's like this, like it's a real quick game, just a few rounds, you know, whatever, and then it's like 4 a.m. and you haven't done anything with your day.
Yeah, and maybe you haven't recorded a podcast yet, so you're just gonna record like several episodes of playing Balatro. Can you imagine how dog shit that would be?
Yeah, that's.
Can you imagine making people pay real life money in dollars to watch that? That would be crazy.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. But that's how addicting these games are. They're like crack.
I've definitely like sometimes I'll just be like scrolling down my Discord servers or whatever, and I see that you've been playing like Into the Breach for like 4 hours straight.
Oh yeah, it's like, see, I was gonna mention Into the Breach too, because that one for me was the same thing. It's just like, I think I had a game halfway done. I'll just like bang this one out real quick. Like I'm probably gonna lose. But it's kind of a shit squad so far, not really rolling anything great, and it's just like, fuck. All right, one more. I'll just start this. I'll just do one round. Okay, I'll just finish this island. Yeah,
it's gonna get real bad later this year, because just the other night I was showing you there's this new game, fucking Metal Slug Tactics, which is coming later this year. Have you played the demo of that yet?
I still haven't.
But, it's really good. I will say the difficulty rating, whatever, it gets pretty steep after the tutorial mission, but once you figure out the underlying mechanics, it's an amazing game. I think it's going to be really good later this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I really like, because I loved the Metal Gear games.
You can get into the Metal Slug itself, and it does so much damage. It's really good.
Oh fuck yeah! Well, I said Metal Gear. I meant Metal Slug. Don't
close enough.
Don't at me. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, those games are so cool. Such a great aesthetic. And then just that they kept everything and didn't try to like reimagine shit. Yeah, fuck it, that looks awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you shared that with me. And I think I'm gonna get the demo, but I think when it comes out, I'm gonna be. I think that's coming like last quarter of this year, so maybe around Christmas. We'll see. Okay. Well.
All right. Let's. We got a couple questions left.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I'm next on this one. So so this is another. This is from Shalom Guy. Can I get a medal for keeping this channel alive in the meantime?
We're recording live, so I'm gonna hit him with the no react right now in person.
I'm gonna give you Reddit gold. That's not really the Reddit gold thing, but
there we go.
There you go. Different. Yeah, this depends on if you ask mom and dad. We all know who the more strict parent is here now.
I feel like I have to be the more authoritarian parent.
yeah, exactly. I'm too busy. Smoking my menthols and drinking Keystone Light and watching like the Home Shopping.
Yeah,
network.
You regularly go out for a pack of cigarettes and just don't come back for like a few weeks.
Yeah. I got distracted.
All right, let's next one. Okay, this is a good question. Hannah asks, which is worse, millennial lingo like heckin' puperinos, or Gen Z / alpha lingo like Sigma Riz Ohio Gyat? Which one's worse?
Okay, so I'm gonna say millennial lingo just because I think. Well, let me preface this by saying if you use either of these unironically, you should be sent to a work camp just to like for reprogramming. But I think on that note, I think that millennial lingo is and has been used like more sincerely than Gen Z lingo, like with the Riz Ohio yacht shit. That's more of a meme, whereas like there are still people who are like in their 30s who are like who say things like kiddo and like my pupperino and the pupperoni and shit like that, just like without shame, and that's unacceptable. If you do that, stop doing that.
I'm gonna contradict you here. I think the sincerity of the millennial lingo makes it better. For me, like when I hear all the fucking like Sigma Riz Ohio yacht Phantom tax whatever, all that bullshit, I feel like it feels like it's trying a little too hard, right? It's like, whoa, this is so lol random. Oh, isn't it crazy how these words don't mean anything, but I'm using them together? And it's like, I don't know, it just feels like it's a little too performative. It's a little like, I don't know. It just seems a little cringe in how try hard it is to me.
No,
so
that's a really good point, because it talks about the like the concept of like irony poisoning that like the Gen Z online people have, where it's like everything just has to be like completely insincere, like nonsensical fucking internet brain bullshit.
Like we've definitely made a few like skibbity toilet jokes, but like it's not funny anymore, right? It's just like, oh, isn't this wacky? And then like, okay, that's it. Like, who gives a shit anymore, right? It's just like a stupid YouTube video.
Well, yeah, and I've definitely heard like Gen Z people who will just like, they're just like repeating like meme phrases back and forth to each other. They're not like actually communicating in any
It's literally
way.
Just like, I can has cheeseburger, right?
Yes, yeah. It's just like, it's
maybe
just
all
like
this shit is just equally stupid. Who knows?
It is in different ways, I guess. But now it's hard to say. Yeah, I'm still gonna say millennial lingo. But I hate them both. Yeah.
I still edge out on the Zoomer side, but hey, that's why you get the full spectrum of politics of opinions on this show.
Right. And I mean, at the end of the day, we hate both of them. Stop doing that shit. Develop a sense of humor that involves like a modicum of wit.
I support what you said about the re-education camps. I think that's the only way.
Yeah. You're all bad. Stop doing that.
All right, we got another one. I'll let you take this one, but this is one of my favorites.
Yes. Okay, so another banger by Ellie. If there were an army for each type of gay, bears, twinks, otters, huskies, etc., which one do you think would win in a war between all of them?
Okay, so I had to think on this for a little bit because I'm not really as plugged into the world of like gay men in general, but after much thought, I'm going to have to put my money down on the leather daddies.
Okay.
I think they are organized. They can like coordinate as a group. They can get their fashion all together on point. I think a lot of those guys look strong as fuck. A lot of it is probably not like real strength. I know it's like a bodybuilder sort of thing, but I'm sure they've got some real muscle under there as well. And the whole like their whole thing is like marching and like the parades or whatever. It's like, okay, if you're going outside wearing all this like really hot leather gear, hot in multiple senses, I feel like, okay, you've got some stamina, you've got some endurance, and they've got the organization, like I said. So I think as a fighting force, I think they would outmaneuver all the other gays.
They also have built-in leather armor. So
yeah, true. That's at least +2 to AC. So
yeah. I'm also not that what are huskies?
I don't actually know.
I don't know either. Are these like Nordic guys? Like they're huskies?
I don't know. I know otters are like kind of skinnier guys, but they have like some body hair, right?
Yeah, the otters are like the next step up from twinks, right?
Right. I don't think the Twinks would win because I feel like, I don't know,
Yeah,
they've got that
definitely
kind of like, they've got that like catty, dramatic energy to them. I think they would tear themselves apart. I don't think they would stay organized. You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with either bears or otters, just because I know what they are. Bears is more of a strength build. Otters is more of like a balanced build.
Yeah, they use dex weapons.
yeah, they use dex weapons, but they they're not complete glass cannons. They have a balanced skill set. That would be my pick. I don't know what Huskies are. Maybe they'd be really good. Maybe they're really good at.
I do think the Bears would probably overcome the Leather Daddies in terms of like sheer power. I gotta go with the Leather Daddies again because of the organized element of it. Right. I think they would just be a better like cohesive unit.
Okay, so I just looked up Husky on Urban Dictionary, and similar to a wolf, has some hair in between, and wolf, otter, and twink. However, huskies have a medium build, little hair, can be sexually aggressive, just want to love you, make you happy. And okay, this is
that's getting very Urban Dictionary.
Whatever. I'm gonna stick with my. I just don't. I don't care.
There's like an entire like hierarchy of different animals on the gay man side of thing that I'm not privy to most of it.
Yeah, I'm good. Let's just keep it simple, guys.
Let's keep it 55th Street.
Let's keep it fucking 55th Street.
All right, we got two more.
We got two more.
Hannah asks, do you wish we would ask more serious questions, or do you like the silliness?
I think we have a great blend of both. I really like what's going on in here. If it was all meme nonsense, I think like these episodes would be kind of pointless and we couldn't really do them. But yeah, pepper in some nonsense with the serious questions and
I think we have a good variety. Although I will say, I'll put out a challenge to you guys for next time. Don't be afraid to ask more like, I don't know, personal or like difficult questions. I'm open for the challenge. I'll answer anything. Like worst case scenario, if somebody asks something totally fucked up out of left field, I'll just like pass it over and I won't be upset about it. But like if you guys want to ask something like real serious or heavy, I don't mind. Go for it.
Yeah, we're not gonna even if it's like kind of unanswerable. We're not gonna like fucking ridicule you on the podcast unless it's some like incredibly problematic shit. But that's we haven't even come close to that. So y'all are good.
There we go. And I'll give you the last question.
All right. So this is a great one to end on. I don't have a question, but would it annoy you if I did?
I'm gonna say no, because questions are content, and this is better than what we had otherwise planned for today.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And this one's from Arachnoid, by the way. And no, it would not annoy us if you did. Get your ass in the fucking Discord if you're not in there already, and ask questions, baby. Ask away. We're fucking open books. We love this shit. This is great, and this is also like it's a great thing to have on the back burner if like we just had a very chaotic week where we're kind of scrambling to do shit. It's always great to have this one to fall back on, to like to do a little viewer interaction and have an interesting little episode for y'all.
Like I said, the alternative today was going to be talking about like hateful old British people. So like whatever, we can do that another time.
Yeah, exactly. So this one is definitely more relaxed and more fun. And we don't always have to keep it big brain every episode, but we do have to keep it 55th Street. So and all of your questions have kept it that way throughout this episode. So well done.
Fuck yeah. All right, I think that's what we got for today. So let's give a little shout out to our favorite pay pigs, and then we'll call it a wrap.
All right. To our dear, sweet Patreon subscribers, I'm just going to go down the list here. We got Knackles, we got FNL, we got T, we got Braid, Zero, Trevor Stilson, Heresy, Dimbus, Nilly, Weasel, Walker, Clam, Trash Bins, Nick, Protagon, and Shalom Guy, all of whom are just the most wonderful people in the goddamn world. All great pieces of our little fun and exciting community here on Discord and out in the ether. We appreciate the fuck out of each and every one of you.
Yeah,
and
thank you guys so much for the sinister $6 every month. It means the world. I know it might not seem like a lot of money, but you know, every little bit adds up, and it does make a big difference to us already, even when the show is still relatively new, still starting out. I don't know. I feel like we punch way the fuck above our weight in terms of like audience engagement and just the cool little community we've got going on. You go out there and you find any other podcast around our size, it is not going to have like an audience as plugged into our dumb bullshit as we are. So
and that's how we're trying to keep it. You know, we want people who actually give a fuck. We don't want just like a bunch of big numbers of faceless people in the crowd and shit. Like if you just want to listen and you don't want to like be in the Discord or whatever, that's totally fine. But yeah, we're not here to go epic viral on the podcast apps and YouTube. We're here to make a great goddamn show for all you sweet babies out there. And like hopefully we're doing that, and by your support, we feel like we are. So fuck yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, if you support the show, you are actually getting bonus episodes as of now. Probably not one this week, because again, we're coming off of moving and being sick, but we're getting back to that next week just for you guys. Look forward to it. We keep this show 55th Street, no Custer shit, never commit suicide.
Never.
See you guys next week.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Good fight, good night.